3/4 of the Earth's surface. It falls in the form of rain to water the land. It is used to fight fires and win. It heals, baptizes, and blesses. It cleans our cars, our clothing, our bodies. It is water, a big part of our world, a big part of who we are. As a matter of fact, more than 75% of our bodies are just that, water. And, of course, we're drinking a lot of water, right? Wrong.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Watson. For the next half hour, we're going to talk about water. Specifically, if water has the power to change your life, maybe even save it. What it comes down to is this: drinking 8 glasses of water a day. Now, that's something we've all been told to do, but why? Because it's good for us. Well, the answer may be a lot more important than that. We're going to introduce you to some people who have amazing, almost unbelievable stories to tell about drinking water.
Ed Dupre, an auto parts salesman, didn't drink much water either until his doctor told him he had the beginnings of a serious, debilitating disease.
I was having problems with my legs, collapsing, falling down, so I went to the doctor, and they told me they ran some blood tests. And they told me that I had signs of muscular dystrophy. So I'm thinking within 2 years, you know, they're going to be pushing me around in a wheelchair or something. And I just said to myself that I can't let that happen.
So Ed started drinking water. He had heard of Dr. Batman's book, so he decided to give it a try. 1 month later, Ed went back for more tests, but the results had changed. No signs of muscular dystrophy.
I feel good.
The doctor was like, he couldn't believe like what was happening. He asked if I changed my lifestyle, my habits. I told him, yeah. I said, I started drinking water. So then he sent me for more tests. I went for more tests, and they came back negative. So he took more blood work, and then my muscle enzyme levels went back down to normal. And he's still scratching his head today. He can't figure out what caused this to happen. I believe that the water had a lot, I'd say 100% to do with it.
So good. I got you.
Those words are music to Bob Butts' ears. A year ago, he read Dr. Batman's water book and became convinced of water's power to heal and prevent health problems. So convinced, he has dedicated himself to letting the world know about it. The owner of CK Auto and Music, Bob has taken thousands of dollars from his advertising budget and has used it to buy commercials for water.
Dr. Batmanghelidj, famed researcher on the curative powers of water, has written a must-read book, Your Body's Many Cries for Water.
You're obsessed with water. When do you think you'll stop being obsessed?
When this is out and accepted. You do have water in there, huh?
That's water in there. 100% pure.
And Bob spends most of his time trying to get the word out on water through his advertising and through telling every single person he meets.
What do you want out of yourself for this?
The thrill of knowing you've made a difference on somebody else's life.
You don't want money?
Oh, God, no. It's not that I have no interest in it, but I will in no way associate with anything that could get me $1. We're only going to live so many years, and bingo. And anything that any accomplishments that I've had in terms of money can compare with the feeling you get when you have somebody walk into your place with a big smile and say, boy, it's like being 25 or 30 years old again.
I feel nice. I feel the response.
Someone who knows about feeling young again is Sam Liguori, radio DJ for WARD.
With our Workshop by Phone Club, Sam Liguori on WARD 1550 AM. And I'll tell you what, we have a few more items we're going to go over with you in just a little bit. We put some sod in the backyard last week because we saw our swimming pool. And I'm shoveling dirt and sand out of there. And if I did that 5 years ago, I'd have so much pain in my chest that I wouldn't be able to stand it.
The nights are cool and I'm a fool. Each star's a pool of water.
I couldn't sleep in bed. My wife was ready to leave. I mean, I couldn't go to bed. I was sleeping in a recliner downstairs for all those years, all those nights.
But with the dawn now wake and carry on.
But then he started drinking 8 glasses of water a day.
In the beginning, yeah, when I first started trying the water. I thought, well, what do I have to lose? It's not costing me anything really to drink the water. And if this doctor from Virginia is right, then I have a lot to gain.
And Sam says what he did gain is his old life back.
So I just started drinking the water, and in about a week it stopped. All the pain stopped in the chest.
Would you say water has changed your life?
Yeah, a lot. In the last year, I've never felt so good in my life. I have people coming up to me. As a matter of fact, just last night we were out, and I met somebody I hadn't seen in about 2 or 3 years, and he told me, he says, "What are you doing?" He says, "You look so great." And I'm 58 years old, and I feel like I'm about 23 again. Really. It's just incredible.
The shadows play and seem to say, tonight we pray for water.
My dear people, I think if our Lord Jesus Christ was living today, he would be telling you all to drink 2 quarts of water.
Monsignor Philip Gray is the pastor at St. Francis Church in Scranton. A priest for 35 years, he has always tried to put a special message in each of his sermons. After he read about drinking water and tried it himself, he had a new message.
I shared my bypass surgery, my knee replacement, my cardiac arrest. I shared all those kind of things with my parishioners. So they knew me inside and out. So I began this one Sunday, I believe, about talking about how I felt, or a little pain or something like that, and how much better I felt because I was drinking water lately. And that's how it began.
The Lord himself was so concerned about our health.
What began was a water drinking movement, albeit small.
A couple other people said that they just felt better, more energy, less pain, because they were drinking water. I don't know what it does. It clears out the system somehow and makes you feel better.
I was near a cat, and apparently the cat hair created an allergic reaction, and my throat completely closed up. And so I basically had to walk around, many years with epinephrine, in case, my throat would close up.
And so this was the way life went for Dr. Jose Rivera for 15 years. Severe asthma and allergies kept him from a normal life, at least normal in the way we see it. But then this family doctor read about water.
At first I was sort of skeptical because, like anyone else, I would say, water, how's water going to help you out? I remember one day I was wheezing real bad, and I called Dr. Batmangheli, and he said, "You're wheezing pretty bad." And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Well, drink 2 glasses of water and put a pinch of salt on your tongue." And I said, "What?" And I did. And one of the nurses noticed that I wasn't wheezing as much from after I drank the water and put the salt. So I called him back and I said, "Hey, this crazy thing works." And
from then on, Dr. Rivera controlled his asthma with water and salt. Yes, salt. Adding it to your diet may sound radical, but Rivera says salt is not the enemy.
Contrary to what we've been telling everyone, if you have hypertension, if you have renal disease, if you have cardiovascular disease, if you have diabetes, watch your salt intake. And that's true, but the problem was, guess what? All these people don't drink water. Salt is a good thing as long as we balance it, with the proper intake of water.
Okay. So then, Dr. Rivera started checking to see how much water his patients drank.
The average person drinks 1 glass of water a day.
The reasons people gave? It didn't taste as good as the other sweeter options. Sodas, teas, coffees, juices.
Have you ever noticed that when on television or an accident, an ambulance, when somebody gets hurt, what is the first thing they give them? They give them an IV. And what do they hang up? A bag of saline. And what is saline? Salt and water. The main structure of our body is cells. And the cells do need water. They need to exchange nutrients. They need to exchange minerals. So if you deplete the basic structure of the body, which are cells, from water, then basically disease can take over, and then they can't function properly, and then the body tries to adapt because it doesn't have this essential source, which is water.
It was here in Dr. Batmanghelidge's Virginia home that Dr. Rivera and some colleagues met him and talked about water.
They have to understand they cannot replace water with other fluids.
Dr. Feridun Batmanghelidj is the man behind this theory. It all started years ago in his homeland of Iran. It was the time of the revolution, and he was in jail as a political prisoner, slated to be shot. As a doctor, he was made to care for the other prisoners, but he had no medicines to give, only water. And that was exactly what he gave a fellow prisoner one night when he was doubled up in pain from an ulcer. And miraculously, the pain went away.
When I discovered the pain-relieving property of water, I started doing research.
You use the water to treat other prisoners?
I've treated 3,050 ulcer cases in 2 years and 7 months that I was in prison.
When the doctor presented this information at his trial, he was pardoned and allowed to live, to continue his research. What has resulted from his life's work is this book, Your Body's Many Cries for Water. Thousands have read the book and written Batmanghelidj with their results and thanks.
People 90 years old, people 70 years old, and so on, have completely recovered from angina pain with just increasing their regular water intake.
Batmanghelidj says most degenerative diseases and allergies can be prevented, helped, even cured with water.
We take the wrong fluids. We drink coffee, we drink tea, we drink alcohol. These are all dehydrating beverages, and they draw water outside from the cells, and they create a total chaos in the system. We associate hunger and thirst as the same sensation, and we assume it to be hunger, and we overeat.
The key to not overeating? Drinking enough water and staying completely away from caffeinated drinks. Batmanghelidj says then you'll be able to separate being hungry from thirsty, and you won't overeat.
I didn't create water. I don't sell water. I have no motives other than advancement of science and bringing health back to people. What is radical in that?
Jeremy, skeptical. My 10-year-old son Aaron had allergies and asthma and was on 5 different medications until he started drinking water. Within
My blood
1
pressure
week,
dropped from 160/98 to an amazing drug-free 130/75.
I'm 90 years old and have angina. When I get an attack of angina, I rest and drink water.
The program reduced the frequency of asthma and allergy-related problems.
any medication for asthma. And I've lost 35 pounds.
Despite the hundreds of letters full of personal testimonials, Dr. Batmanghelidj has not had much luck getting our country's leading medical institutions, like the National Institutes of Health and the American Medical Association, to support him or his findings. Why don't you think the NIH and the AMA listen to you?
Because it would mean eventually the shrinkage of their existence.
We spoke to several medical professionals who wouldn't go on camera. They said while they'll agree that drinking water is beneficial, they don't think it's a cure-all. And what Batmanghelidj must do to get the recognition of the medical community is clinical, controlled studies to prove it. Studies that need lots of funding. Funding that is hard to come by when people don't agree with your ideas.
Their issue is, how do you convince someone that's been through 4 years of college, 4 years of medical school, 3 or 4 years of residency, and he's never been told that, hey, you know, the main constituent of your body is water, and that water can alleviate and in some cases cure certain diseases, and even prevent some. I mean, wouldn't that make you skeptical? It made me skeptical. Put people just to drink water for 3 or 4 months. Do a controlled study. And you would be amazed at how better people would feel. Disease can do some horrible things to people's body, and I think water can help. Is it a total answer? I don't know. And I really don't know that. Has it helped people? Yes.
Maybe it is that simple. Maybe not. But the one thing all the people we talked to had in common is that before they felt better, they drank maybe 1 to 2 glasses of water a day. The rest was coffee, tea, juice, and soda. Now they drink water and they say they feel great. Is it all in their heads, or is there something to this?
Batmanghelidge's program is simply this. Drink 8 8-ounce glasses of plain old water a day straight from the tap if you want, and add a little bit of salt to your diet. Anything containing caffeine, such as coffee, tea, or soft drinks, only dehydrates us more. If you drink them, don't count them as part of the daily allowance. Batman recommends 1 glass of water a half hour before meals, another glass 2.5 hours afterwards. He says this is the minimum amount of water our bodies need. Sounds unusual, but simple, and many people say they have found their health solution in the simple.
Hypertension pill once a day, and I see my doctor. It's not like, I don't go to the doctor anymore, but I feel 100% better than I ever felt before. I have more energy.
I couldn't even stand on my feet before. And now it's like, I just keep on going. I feel like you have a ready battery. The Energizer.